Well, this is fun. Alberta government changes expense disclosure policy. Because of course they did. Now, like any business, people working for the government, as the government, incur expenses in doing their jobs. And you and I had access to what those expenses look like. I'll give you an example. Here's some examples of Rob Anderson's expenses. Here's some example of Danny's. Basically, anything that they expense over the course of doing their job and for which they received reimbursement is public to everybody, so we can keep them accountable. But not anymore. Oh, they still have to submit a receipt in order to get reimbursed. We just don't get to know what that's for because they went ahead and changed the policy. This is the new policy. This was the old policy. See F here? F says that any amount exceeding $100 will be disclosed, but the UCP said F that and took it out of the new policy. Now, why would a government want to limit the amount of information that their population has access to? I don't know why we're surprised. It seems to be pretty consistent with the UCP. They made FOIP requests more difficult. I can't imagine why. So we don't get to see when they spend over $100. Oh, and they also got rid of the records. Whereas before we could just see throughout the years what various ministers and deputy ministers and staff and premiers spent. Now we only get to see 5 years. The press secretary for Nate Horner, Marissa Breeze, said that the changes were made to improve government operations and reduce red tape. Our government remains committed to the highest transparency and accountability standards. Marissa, don't use words that your government doesn't understand. Where's the transparency? Why doesn't your government want to let people know what they spend over $100 on in the course of doing their job? I'm pretty sure popcorn and a beer at a Stanley Cup playoff probably cost more than $100. But they were in a skybox. They get that shit for free. Oh, but the database couldn't hold all the information. Improve the database. You guys have money to spend willy-nilly on all sorts of things. Improve the database instead of getting rid of the data. And the Auditor General couldn't comment because they weren't even made aware of the changes. The Auditor General. The one signing the checks. Well, other provinces do it differently too, so we're just trying to match them. Why? Why? Did the premiers of other provinces get caught in a skybox? Nay. I think Albertans have a right to know what their politicians, elected officials, the staff of the elected officials are getting reimbursements for. And it may all be on the up and up, like when Rob Anderson had to fly first class because he had a medical note. But we still have a right to know, especially when this government likes to travel all over the place. Mar-a-Lago, anyone? I mean, anyone at any time can go take a look at the expenses. It's kind of a fun read. It's good to know what their per diems are, how much lunch costs. Rob Anderson had $105 for parking. I know parking's expensive, but Jesus. Anyway, nothing says transparency like passing this change of policy on a Friday afternoon when nobody's paying attention to benefit the people changing the policy. And the term red tape reduction reminds me of axe the tax. It means nothing. It's a slogan. It's funny because the axe the tax guy spent more money than any other federal politician. It seems to be a pattern with conservatives. Fiscal responsibility, but not for them. And now who's gonna know? We're just not gonna publish it. Yeah, seems legit. Maybe they bought nachos too when they were in the skybox. Maybe that wasn't part of the package.